And welcome back for the second hour right here on FireYourMDNow.com. Unbelievable, huh? Well, look, I've been telling you how bad it is, but there we go, straight from the horse's mouth, straight from the guy in Washington, D.C., who's been trying to deal with all this, who's been fighting on your behalf for, 20-plus years. It's bad, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, it is bad. I recommend you go get his books. Get his books. Check it out. There's a link right there on the front page of my website to his website, emord.com. Check it out. Knowledge is power. Up the ante with your knowledge base so that we can do everything within our power to secure our rights for health freedom. This is ultimately what it's about. Health freedom, right? You want the option, the ability to be able to choose your doctor, to be able to choose your method of treating your health, not having the pharmaceutical companies and the MDs and the insurance companies tell you what, where, when, and why. Draw a line in the sand this far and no further. And if they start to mess with your vitamins, well, we're going to have to take it to the street. We're going to have to do something. We're going to have to rally lawyers. We're going to have to march on Washington. We're going to have to do something as a group. If we stick together, ladies and gentlemen, we have a fighting chance. And in keeping with my conviction to keep it all together, to stick together in a holistic fashion, we're going right to the phones now. Pamela is up first. Pamela, thanks for waiting. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. Thank you for taking my call. I'm calling for a friend who is approximately 60 years old. She weighs 124 pounds, and she has a tremor in her left arm and hand, and she has bone spurs at 5 and 6, which are pushing on the thecal sac, the spinal cord, and she also has a spondylolisthesis at L3 or 5, which was from a toboggan accident or a birth defect. She also has gait problems with frozen speech, and when she gets extreme thoracic pain when she gets up from a lying position, she has to gasp for breath, but she moves through it. She was diagnosed with Parkinson's, but to me it sounds more like nerve impingement, and when they did an MRI of her brain, it was squeaky clean, unlike most Parkinson's patients. So I kind of cued her into what I'd learned from you and Dr. Wallach, and she's interested in the supplements, but she's concerned because she also has had massive exposure to lead as an artist. And her husband was a metal sculptor, and she's been undergoing chelation therapy for 15 months for lead and mercury poisoning. And she's concerned about the plant-derived minerals. I recommended the Ultimate Classic, and it has the plant-derived mineral lead in it, so she wanted to be reassured that taking this would not, backtrack all of her months of 15 months of chelation.
All right, so first things first.
Yeah.
When they did the MRI and it came back negative, did she get her money back? No, of course she didn't. No, right? We all laugh about it, but
right.
They should have. I mean, and she's got all of this stuff.
Yeah,
she's in the woods. She's in the weeds. She has all of these problems.
Right.
She's been completely let down by conventional medicine. I mean, and we hear this all of the time, every day. I honestly don't know what it's going to take for us to collectively snap out of our malaise here as a society, because this type of thing goes on all of the time.
Yeah.
All right, look.
They've got her on Flexerol, 30 milligrams a day, and they've got her on Carbolopa and Levodopa or whatever.
Because they're idiots, for goodness sake. All right, so first things first. All right, so thank you for the call. I'm going to answer your question. We're getting a little feedback here from your phone. So thank you so much for the call. All right, so look, here it is, folks. Right, this poor woman's got all this trouble. She's got neurological stuff. They don't know what the heck's going on. They give her an MRI. It comes back negative. She doesn't get her money back. It was not an unnecessary test, for goodness sake. Medical incompetence, par excellence. She has all of these symptoms persisting. Let's take it from the top. Bone spurs. What causes a bone spur? A bone spur is a calcium deficiency. I mean, if you don't know that a bone spur is caused by a calcium and multiple mineral deficiencies, then you shouldn't have a medical license. But what the heck? Medical doctors aren't trained in medical nutrition, so they don't give a crap about it. They think it's, beneath them. They think it's an afterthought. They think it's secondary, tertiary, quaternary medicine. They don't give a rat's ass about it. And we suffer because of it. This woman has multiple mineral deficiencies. That's what drives bone spurs. It's calcium and magnesium deficiencies, period. So, with all of these symptoms, like the fellow said, everything's connected. I mean, this is the wonderful thing about the holistic method, because the more complicated the situation is, the more symptoms that the person has, the easier it is to gain entry and access into the healing zone. Why? Because everything's connected. Now, there's no test, we've all been culturally conditioned by Star Trek, and I'm a big Trekkie, by the way, but I have there's a number of things about Star Trek in Star Wars and all of this technologically centrist, futuristic stuff that really just misses the point completely. Everybody is, waiting patiently for the Star Trek tricorder and the diagnostic table with the 3D hologram that floats above the body that tells the doctor everything that's going on in the human body. It's nonsense. Because even if you could visualize everything that's happening in the human body, that does not give you a clue as to the metabolic processes that are driving it. It doesn't. It just doesn't. And it gives you less of a clue to the vital force behind all of it that's holding it all together and that's making it move forward. It's the vital force given to the body by the presence of the soul in the body. That's right, I said it aloud. The presence of the soul in the body that lends the energy inherent for life to the human body. I mean, what's the difference between someone who's alive and someone who's dead? 1 second after their death, what's the difference? It's all exactly the same biochemicals. Well, why aren't they still alive? If life is just a function of biochemicals, then we should be able to mix all the biochemicals together in a big pot, bring it up to boil, and presto digio, we've got a human being. It's nonsense. It doesn't work that way. It is the vital force given to the body, given to the physical body by the presence of the soul, which drives everything forward. And you can't visualize that with the Star Trek tricorder. You just can't. You can't see that with the MRI. It's nonsense. But, the MDs are leading us down this reductionistic road of ruin with all of this diagnostic stuff. That's why their therapeutics are bankrupting us. Oh, $1,500 for the CT scan. Oh, $3,000 for the MRI. Oh, we need this test. Oh, we need that test. It's nonsense. What do? We lean on the notion that the human body can fix itself. So, when faced with multiple symptoms, we choose one. We choose one of the strongest symptoms and intervene appropriately in a holistic fashion. Change the diet, get out of the body's way of healing, and see what happens. So the first thing to do for this person, because of the overarching calcium deficiencies here, is 1 Healthy Start Pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month, 1 bottle of Cal Toddy a month. That's 1 extra bottle of calcium. So that's 1 Healthy Start per 100 pounds of body weight per month, 1 bottle of Cal Toddy per month, 4 bottles of selenium per month, 4 bottles of selenium per month, 1 bottle of glucogel capsules per 10 pounds of body weight per month, or 1 bottle of glucogel liquid per 50 pounds of body weight per month. You can mix and match those together if you want. And to support and promote further healing of the neurological system, we want a diet that's high in cholesterol, and she can also take the HGH Youth Complex. So in a diet that's high in cholesterol, why? Because the central nervous system is made from cholesterol. That's what it's made from. If your bones were broken, we'd give you calcium and minerals. Well, if your central nervous system is affected, we give you more cholesterol. Why? Because that's just a smart thing to do, because that's what it's made from. And if money is not an obstacle, you can always throw in the ultimate daily capsules to support and promote the circulation. And supporting and promoting circulation of the body is never a bad thing, regardless of where the center of gravity of your illness is. Because blood brings life. And if you can increase blood flow to any part of the body, you're going to increase the therapeutic response from what you're attempting to do. So, Ultimate Daily Capsules, HGH, Ultimate Selenium, extra calcium in the form of Cal Toddy, which is my favorite, and the Healthy Start Pack is a very good place to start. But again, everybody must avoid the 10 bad foods. Everybody must avoid the 10 bad foods, and I left out the glucogel, okay, the glucogel. That's the icing on the cake. So have her take those supplements every day for 90 days. And every couple of weeks, when you're on board with the right program, you want to see things improving. Now, it might not be the things that you want to improve. You know, your chief complaint might be arthritis, or your chief complaint might be headaches, or your chief complaint might be insomnia, or whatever. But remember, everything is connected, and the body sorts it out in its own time, in its own way. And this is not a treatment for arthritis. Arthritis doesn't even exist, for goodness sake. This is a supporting and promoting program for Jane Doe, for John Doe. It's for you. It's for the human being. It's not for the illness. We're not trying to cure illnesses here. We're supporting and promoting the ability of people's living, breathing, soul-inhabited bodies to fix themselves, and that's a completely different agenda. So, because everything's connected, once you change your diet and start the nutritional supplements, pay attention to the stuff that gets better, because it might not be initially the stuff that you want. Who knows? It might be your energy that improves. It might be your sleep that improves. It might be your mood that improves. And eventually, you know, the arthritic pain in the knee is going to go away. Eventually, the neurological stuff's going to go away. But just pay attention to everything as you're moving down the road, because this is holistic, baby. And holistic medicine for this stuff is as good as it gets. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Stick around. Following up with more phone calls when we come back. 866-582-9933 is the number to call. That's 866-582-9933. That's the number to call to speak to me live today and every day that we are live, Monday through Friday from 3 to 5 Central. Spain is in the house next, ladies and gentlemen. We have Julie calling from Spain. I think she's visiting friends in Michigan. Welcome aboard, Julie. You are live.
Thank you. Hi, Dr. Glidden. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Hola, Julie.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
Oh, muy bien.
Fantástico. I'm calling because it'll be 4 years ago, I had an accident. I was running with my son to our car, and it was a cold day, and we wanted to rush and get to the car. So he said to me, let's run to the car. And I proceeded to run, and something tripped me. I started to fly the air, couldn't get my footage. What happened is I fell down on top of the tire of my car. I had a SUV, so the tire was pretty big, and I couldn't cushion my fall with my arms. So the impact fell on my neck.
Ouch.
And then the impact of me hitting my head hitting the tire threw me back, and then I fell back and hit my head, the back of my head.
Double whammy.
It was pretty nasty, and I got up and I was really out of it. I went to the emergency. I had I believe a CAT scan, or not a CAT scan, but a
MRI. Yeah.
MRI done, and they told me I had a concussion. And afterwards, I had headaches. I was confused. I had all kinds of symptoms. I couldn't think straight. My words were slurred. I would speak, and sometimes I would lose my train of thought in the middle of my conversation with somebody, which was pretty embarrassing. And then after, I'd say around 2.5 years after the accident, I started having a little click in my neck, a little click in a feeling of a great lot of tension in my neck. And then I'd say about 6 months after that, I started getting spasms in my neck. And then a few months after that, my neck would just completely turn to the right, and I couldn't control it. And it would go back and forth, and I just could not keep it straight.
Yeah, that's called spasmodic torticollis, right?
Exactly what it was diagnosed as being.
Yeah.
Well, my question is, it's kind of embarrassing. I went through a divorce, and I'm ready to start living my life, and I really can't start dating. It's really controlling my life, and it's kind of depressing. It's frustrating, and I was just hoping that.
Well, yeah, I mean, this is easy to fix. I mean, but I'm more concerned about the slurring speech. And I mean, is that stuff all gone? Has that gone by the boards, or does that still show up every now and then?
It still shows up every now and then. And I never know when it's going to come up. So when I'm speaking to somebody, I always have this
yeah, I can imagine, right? Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah, that's got to be hindering you. All right, so look, spasmodic torticollis, that's fancy schmancy doctor talk for your neck is cocked to one side or the other. And, you know, what the heck? That's like going into the doctor with a sore throat, and the doctor does all this expensive testing and says, you have pharyngitis, which is Latin for sore throat. Spasmodic torticollis is Latin for your neck is cocked over to one side. I mean, you knew that when you came in.
Exactly.
For goodness sake. I mean, it's nonsense what we let these people get away with, and we don't hold their feet to the fire. Oh, you have spasmodic torticollis. Well, yeah, Doc, I knew that when I looked in the mirror this morning. What causes it, and what can you do to fix it? Well, they haven't given you anything for it, have they? How long have you been dealing with this, by the way?
Well, the accident, like I said, was 4 years ago, and this whole thing started, the spasms started actually about the end of last year.
Okay, so here's the deal. You know, everybody's body has a weak link. There's a weak link in everybody's body, and God only knows why. So I could have quintuplets, all with identical quintuplets. They all have exactly the same genes. They could all have a calcium deficiency, and each one of them would develop a different calcium deficiency disease. One of them might have bad menstrual cramps. One of them might have low back pain. One of them might have bone spurs. One of them might have high blood pressure. One of them might have difficulty falling asleep or heartburn. These are all calcium deficiency diseases, but nobody knows, you know, why a calcium disease in person A shows up here and in person B it shows up there. It's a mystery. Your body, because of the accident, I am postulating, had a weak link in the musculoskeletal system that was slammed by the accident. So when you then subsequently developed a calcium deficiency, because that's what happens in life, it showed up in the weakest link of your body, which is your neck. I mean, that makes sense to me. You stick around with me. We're up against a hard break, Julie. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do to get on the other side of this when we come back. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a red letter day here on FireYourMDNow.com. Don't touch that dial. 866-582-9933 is the number to call to speak to me live. 855-347-3696 is the number to call for help with the nutritional supplements we talk about, or the longevity business opportunity, which I espouse. 855-347-3696. That's 855-347-3696. We're talking to the latest victim of medical mediocrity, allopathic medical mediocrity, Julie. Now, Julie, look, here's the deal. You still with me?
I'm still here.
All right, good. So, you know, we can't, well, you already have a diagnosis, so we're good to go here. We can't diagnose stuff over the phone. Most of the time, quite frankly, I can diagnose stuff over the phone, but I am not inclined to for legal reasons. Right. I can run diagnostic circles around any MD in the world, but, you know, all things being what equal, we're not inclined to do that in a radio format. So, but you already have the diagnosis, spasmodic torticollis, for goodness sake. You knew that before you went to the doctor. So the vast majority of the time, this condition is a simple calcium and magnesium deficiency. That's all that it is. Now, it's not and it's unrelated to the accident. This is not a neurological side effect of the accident. You don't have to worry about that. This is just your body running out of stuff, and it just is unless you're supplementing, it's just a normal part of life. Unless you're filling the nutritional tank up every day, it's only a matter of time until your body runs out of stuff, because all the stuff that your body needs to have healthy muscles and healthy bones and joints and hearts and everything else is not in the food. And so it's just a matter of time until your nutrient deficiencies catch up with you. And, one of the things, ironically, which will accelerate mineral deficiencies, which is really what's going on here, is hot yoga or saunas or some type of exercise program. Okay, so which begs the question, in the last couple of years before the spasmodic torticollis happened, were you doing any of that stuff?
Actually I was doing Bikram yoga, but I wasn't doing it for very long.
But you did do it, right? I mean, for what, a couple, 2, 3, 4 months?
I would say more like a month.
Yeah, okay. Well, now Bikram yoga for the listening audience is hot yoga. I mean, it's really hot. In the room where you're doing Bikram yoga, I mean, what is it, like 90-something degrees?
Please.
I mean, it's really hot on purpose, because the hotter you are, the easier it is for your body, your muscles to relax. At least that's the theory anyway. But you're sweating buckets when you're in there, and what are you sweating out? You're sweating out minerals, you're sweating out vitamins, you're sweating out a nutrient soup. It ain't just salt that you're sweating out, it's a whole bunch of minerals. But in any event, what we're going to do is put it all back. So what's your current body weight?
119.
All right, so my recommendation for you as a 90-day presumptive program here.
I do have to interrupt you. I'm sorry for just a second. I needed to add two things. I have an allergy to sulfa. I'm not sure if any of your products do have sulfa. And also, I've been getting shots of Botox in order to stop the spasms. I just wanted to let you know.
Well, I mean, that's just a ridiculous treatment. I mean, the Botox is not going to interfere with anything that I do, but I mean, that's like, that's like dropping napalm, on a field because there's, a mosquito problem. I mean, it's a ridiculous treatment. Honestly, it's just ridiculous. But in any event, none of this will interfere with any of that, and you don't need to worry about that, all right? So, one healthy start pack per 100 pounds of body weight per month. So you're 119, so it's one healthy start pack per month, one extra bottle of calcium, and my favorite in this regard is Cal Toddy. So that's one healthy start pack per month, one bottle of Cal Toddy per month, 3 bottles of Ultimate Selenium a month, 3 bottles of Ultimate Selenium a month, and 2 bottles of Z-Radical, 2 bottles of Z-Radical. Now, if that's too rich for your blood, I have no idea what your budget is. Knock the supplements off from the bottom going to the top. So instead of 2 bottles of Z-Radical, do 1 bottle of Z-Radical. If that's still too rich for your blood, do no Z-Radical and 3 bottles of selenium. If you can't handle that, do the program plus 2 bottles of selenium and so forth and so on. For an absolute minimum, you need to be on 1 healthy start pack and 1 bottle of Cal Toddy and 1 bottle of selenium a month as an absolute minimum. Now, that's the nutritional supplement program, okay? So in order to make that work efficiently inside your body, you have to eliminate the 10 bad foods. You have to eliminate the 10 bad foods. You have to do that, or the vitamin supplement program doesn't stand a good chance of working. So eliminate the 10 bad foods. And because of the historical trauma to the central nervous system, we need to feed the central nervous system, and that's not hard to do. How do we do that? We give the body cholesterol, which is what the central nervous system is made from. So the recommendation for you would be 3 to 6 chicken eggs a day with butter and salt. If you're allergic to eggs or you want to switch it up every couple days, you can do, other stuff that's high in cholesterol. Steak, chicken skin, throw the chicken away, eat the skin, right? The stuff that's high in cholesterol you want to be focusing on for the next 6 months. And when you do that, when you give your body the nutrients that it needs, I can almost guarantee within 4 weeks the spasmodic torticollis will be history. And then moving forward, the, the slurred speech and all that stuff stands a really good chance of coming around also as you give your brain and central nervous system the stuff that it needs to fix itself. And this is a holistic method that, you have to do it all together. So eliminate the 10 bad foods, take those nutritional supplements, and for goodness sake, if you have the ability, give me a call every 2 or 3 weeks and tell me how you're doing here. We like to keep track of this stuff just for the record. And, it's an Internet program. You can Skype us from Spain when you go back home, whatever. I don't know if it, what time is it? It's 4:45 here, Central Time. What time would that be in Spain?
It's 6 hours difference.
6 hours ahead, right? So it's like 10:45 at night. All right. Well, you're probably up that late. So Skype us in a couple of weeks after you've started the program and give us a report. All right, Julie?
Wonderful. Just one more question. I wanted to know about glucose gels, and my friend's helping me out here because she's into this.
Well, the Fucoid Z. Can she take the Fucoid Z instead of the B radicals? It's the same thing because I'm trying to get her not to take so many heavy liquids back to Spain.
Yes, then that makes you the smartest girl in class. So yeah, the Fucoid Z would be a perfectly fine workaround for the Z radical. And now that you mention it, for a condition like this, it might be a better supplement anyway. So yeah, you can do the Fucoid Z instead. And life is good. No, I wouldn't do glucogels in this case. I mean, it doesn't seem indicated here. Glucogel is not a bad thing for anybody to take. I take glucogel as a preventive. But this doesn't sound to me like a bone, skeleton, or joint or ligament thing. This sounds to me like a pure mineral thing. So that's how I would lean for at least the first 90 days, and then you can always add stuff moving forward. All right, I got more callers on the line here, guys. Thanks so much for your patience. Give it a try and give us a call back, Julie. We love to track results. Jean is next, who's been waiting very patiently. Hey, Jean, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hi, Dr. Glidden. Thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome. What's up?
Well, I had a routine yearly physical in January.
I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah.
Well, and they did an EKG on me.
Of course
and
they
it
did.
came back abnormal.
Ooh, abnormal. You have the abnormal EKG. Oh, what are we going to do? Heavens forbid. Yeah.
I know. They want me to see a cardiologist, and I'm in Florida seasonally, and my regular doctor is in Michigan, so I'm hesitant to start things in action over here. So.
Okay, so when they do EKGs, by the way, folks, that's the electrocardiogram. They call it EKG instead of ECG, which is the proper acronym, because ECG sounds too much like EEG, which is the electroencephalogram, which is the test that they use to test your brain waves to see how well your brain is working, and knucklehead medical doctors can get those two things mixed up, EEG or ECG, or they might write it down wrong and cause a lot of problems. So that's why they changed it from ECG to EKG, right? The K is irrelevant. You don't spell cardiac with a K, but that's why they did it that way. So anyway, the EKGs, they put those little electrodes on your chest, and they hook it up to the machine that everybody knows now, the little sine wave machine, and it tells you how well your heart is beating. But here's the deal. The equipment that they have now is very sophisticated, especially with all of this microchip technology. The vast majority of, 100% of the modern EKG machines now have a built-in diagnostic tool. So as the machine is running the EKG, as it's recording the electrical activity in your heart, the software embedded in the machine is diagnosing what's going on, and they give a printed readout when the diagnostic test is over. So you wouldn't happen to have that printed readout on you, would you?
Yes.
You do. What does it say? Good girl. All right, excellent. What does it say?
Sinus rhythm rate 56, ventricular premature complex, consider left atrial enlargement.
All right, so it's presumptively a left enlargement of the left ventricle. All right, so here's what I would do for 6 months. If it were me, I would not go back to the cardiologist. I just wouldn't do that because this is not a life-threatening illness. Do you have, even if it's correct, do you have, strong and persistent symptoms? Do you have pain in your left arm, or do you have, anything that's problematic with your energy or anything at all in your day-to-day life?
No, not really. Just once in a while I have like a palpitation or something.
Okay, all right. So here's what I would do for 6 months. I would just go on a generic let's support the left ventricle program, right? Let's support the cardiovascular system program, and here's what it is. What's your current body weight?
142.
All right, so per month I would do 1 Healthy Start Pack, 4 bottles of selenium, 1 Healthy Start, 4 bottles of selenium, 1 Healthy Start Pack, 4 bottles of selenium, 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules, 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily Capsules, and 1 bottle of De-Stress. I would do 1 De-Stress, 1 Ultimate Daily, 4 selenium, and 1 Healthy Start Pack. I would do that every month for 6 months, plus eliminate the 10 bad foods from your diet, and then go back to the original doctor that you went to and have another EKG done, all right? Because that's going to be way less expensive than going to a cardiologist. Just have the same test repeated and then compare the 2 results. Now, if there's been no change, then go to the cardiologist and get a more accurate diagnosis, okay? But, as God is my witness, I'm going to bet you 25 cents that this program that I just outlined to support and promote the health of your heart is going to be exactly what the doctor ordered and will, not make it necessary for you to do any other diagnostic nonsense. So we're up against a hard break here. Check it out. Give it a try. Don't forget to eliminate the 10 bad foods. Ladies and gentlemen, when we come back, I'm talking to Ralph, who's been hanging on for over 2 hours. Stick around. I'm Dr. Peter Glidden. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. On tomorrow's program, Mike Randolph talking to us about the business opportunity with longevity and current economic trends. And then Clinton Miller, one of the unsung heroes of nutritional health. Clinton Miller, the guy responsible for the Dietary Supplement Health Education Act, the law that makes it possible for you to get nutritional supplements without prescription by the MD, which is called D-Shane. It's that law that is causing the FDA to go through all of these acrobatics now, as we talked about in the first hour, to deny your access to health. It's with them, it's drugs and surgery all the time. They're going to force it down your throat with laws. And we have to stand up in force and make a noise against it. It's a little health education law week here at Fire Your MD Now. Clinton Miller tomorrow for day 1 of a 3-day series. So tell all your friends. We're going to rock the house with Clinton Miller. You're going to love what he has to say. We have time for one more phone call, and Ralph gets the award, man. You've been hanging on for the longest of any of my callers ever, Ralph. Thank you so much for the patience, and you are live. How can I help?
I'm glad I'm getting on today. I have two situations. One, arthritic pain that I thought was osteoarthritic, but I've got one knee in particular now that throbs with pain and also has swollen and is disfigured and has knots around it. And
did you twist it or did you fall down the steps or anything like that, or did it just start to go?
No, nothing like that.
Okay. How old are you? How much do you weigh?
I'm 61, and I was weighing 260. I'm now down to about 240.
Okay. All right. Good. And this just started all of a sudden, kind of, sort of?
Yeah, it just cropped up.
Yeah. All right. Is it easy or hard to fall asleep when you go to bed at night?
It's gotten easier now that I'm on the Healthy Start Pack.
Yeah, but before it was a problem, right?
Yes, it was.
Yeah, okay, good. All right, so tell me what you're doing, Ralph. Tell me what you're doing.
Nutritionally?
Yeah, supplement-wise. What do you take?
Well, I'm taking 3 Healthy Start Packs, Take the Alderman enzymes, ProstFX, Sweeties. I take extra EFAs, 9 extra per day. About 369 Cell Shield RTQ, 9 Ultimate Daily, 12 Ultimate Selenium, and 24 of the glucose gel.
Okay, so since you've been doing this program, which is, by the way, a most excellent program, have you experienced anything positive in the knee situation?
Yes, the left knee doesn't give me any problems now. The right knee, the one that still has problems, does not seem to give me what I consider to be osteoarthritic pain in the joint area that's sudden when I walk on it. Yeah. This that I'm dealing with now is a residing pain when it comes, just throb.
Yeah, and it's a throbbing. Is it a hot pain or a cold pain?
I wouldn't consider it hot.
Okay, but when it gets bad, it's throbbing, right?
Yes.
And is
doesn't
there
last long, and there was stiffness, a lot of stiffness, and most of it, I'd say 85%, or around there, 85% of the stiffness has gone away. I used to have trouble straightening it.
All right, very good. So is when the knee becomes problematic, is it discolored at all? Does it get white or red?
No.
Okay, and is there any catalyzing factors or any triggers to make the right knee more problematic? Like the more you walk, the worse it gets, or the more you sit, the worse it gets?
If I'm sitting, I can feel a little pain when I'm sitting.
Yeah, a little pain when you're sitting, and then what about when you first stand up and first start to walk around? Does it hurt then?
Well, my first 2 steps rather with caution. After that, I'm fine.
All right, so there's a homeopathic medicine you can pick up at the health food store. By the way, the program that you're doing is perfect. You don't need to tweak it in any way, shape, or form. You need to clean your diet up if you haven't done that. You need to eliminate all 10 bad foods. All you need to do, Ralph, here is give the program more time. That's the only thing here. And there's a homeopathic medicine called Calcarea carbonica, CalCarea Carbonica in the 30C strength that can help. Take 2 pellets twice a day for 7 days. 2 pellets twice a day for 7 days of Calcarea carbonica. Homeopathic